How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Steins Linear Bounded Phenogram. Here in Kurisu's story, we just got in contact with Dr. Nakabachi, or to be more specific, Kurisu's father, who is most likely going to help us in this situation being the tragedy that we are also used to in the original game, just taking a little bit of a twist and a turn. Okabe pretty much unconscious the majority of the time because he keeps getting knocked out by Ferris's butler. But anyways, let us read on.
できてる。どうしてそれが可能だったのかまでははっきりとはわからないんだけど。
Yeah, who knows how we built that shit. I spent about an hour telling Papa about the time leap machine. I was surprised to find that after my explanation, he was able to accurately identify the time leap machine's capabilities and limitations. As we spoke, we faxed documents to each other, some of which included information that I had overlooked, so this hour was full of surprises. This is the same sort of feeling I get while I'm discussing things with Okabe. Given our understanding of the time leap machine and considering CERN's moves, the conclusion we reached was fairly straightforward.
現状を鑑みるにだ。やはりタイムリープで過去に戻り、起きた出来事を変えるしかないだろう。そしてその際に、その D メールとやらも使うことを視野に入れるなら、それを行うのは、リーディングシュタイナーなる能力を持つ、その岡部倫太郎という小僧以外にはあるまい。
待って、パパ、それは無理なの。
I had considered that plan once before. How well does the time leap machine work? How can D-mail allow us to improve our situation? Both of these questions face a single roadblock. How will what we do change the past? To my knowledge, I have not yet directly experienced a changed past phenomenon. We can only go by Okabe's reports of his experiences. Needless to say, if the past changes, our memories, knowledge, and experience will change with it. To observe that the past has changed, one must retain the memories of the pre-change past. Otherwise, there's no way to confirm it. That's why only Okabe, whose reading Steiner ability can retain memories of the pre-change past, can notice the phenomenon occur. Honestly, I found the concept hard to believe since I first heard it. In fact, my belief is entirely predicted on my trust in Okabe. That said, we have accumulated a number of pieces of evidence pertaining to changed past phenomena over the course of our D-mail experiments. But we have none for the time leap machine. Based on what Okabe told us, it seems as though the time leap machine hasn't resulted in any changed past phenomena. Despite Okabe's scant, vague testimony, Papa and I reached a hypothesis that changed past phenomena do not result through the use of the time leap machine. My phone just lit up with something. What the fuck is this? What the yuck? Bixby? I don't want that shit. Bixby is like the worst assistant. The Google Assistant is probably the best, in my opinion. I don't know how Alexa is. We think the time leap machine only allows one to send themselves back through time, not to change said past. But we can't say for certain. For example, Okabe currently is saying that changed past phenomena do not occur as a result of the time leap machine. But what if that's only because he didn't take any action that would trigger such phenomena? Much like when we began our D-mail experiments, we do not clearly understand what sort of trigger causes the changed past phenomena to occur. And given the delicacy of the situation, we cannot afford to take uncertain measures. In other words, just as Papa said, Okabe is the only person who can solve this. The only one who can interfere with time and actually be aware of the changes he makes. But we can't let him do so in his current state. Okabe is so worn out that he can't take anymore. I thought I explained that, but...
無理は承知だ。そんなことは分かっておる。しかしだ、お前は無理を無理と言い募れば、この事態が自然に解決すると思うのか？
それは。
できないことをできないというのは簡単なことだ。だがそれを突破してこそ科学の価値がある。
I don't need Dad to tell me this. It's obvious to any self-respecting scientist. What is impossible today will become impossible tomorrow. My professor at my old lab often quoted, that guy's words. I'm not even trying. But be that as it may, the impossible is impossible. While there is a value in overcoming the things people claim to be impossible, but optimism doesn't let people breathe underwater without the appropriate apparatus, or travel to space without a cannon, or using a cannon. You can use a cannon to go into space. No, you cannot. Saying things like that are possible is nothing more than junk science.
だが正一
As I was fumbled for a response, Yukitaka Oji-sama interjected.
彼女の意見には同意せざるを得ない。僕自身の見解としても彼に何かをさせるのは難しいだろう。
そう言うと思っていたぞ、雪高。
なんだって？
この私がだ。そんな初歩的なことに頭が回っていないとでも思っていたのか。見くびってもらっては困るぞ。
What is he saying? Completely at a loss as to what my father is getting at, my face goes blank.
私を誰だと思っている。その岡部という小僧が憔悴しきっていることなど百も承知だ。しかしだ、事態はそいつにしか解決できん。ならば、その小僧をどんな手段を使ってでも使い物になる状態に戻さねばならん。まゆりとかいうお前たちの友達を小僧はずっと助けようとしてきたのだろう。その時の意欲を取り戻させるのだ。
Papa's comment is logical and coherent. If one ignores the sheet impossibility of that idea, that is.
無理よ。だってそれには何とかしてまゆりを助けられるという糸口を見つけなきゃ。
The reason Okabe had lost all of his hope and had become so broken is because he thought Mayuri's fate was inescapable. That no matter what he does, or how many times he tries, Mayuri cannot be saved. Conversely, if we could prove that Mayuri can be saved, Okabe may recover. But I don't see how that's possible.
まゆりを助けるにはどうしたらいいか、今の私じゃわからない。多分、この世の誰にも。
当然だ。今のお前にそれが見えるはずがない。だが、この世の誰にもというのは間違いだ。
え？どういうこと？パパにはどうすればいいのかわかるっていうの？
何をバカなことを言っている。研究の基本は観察と考察、そして実験だ。
That is true.
観察なしで、お前たちからの証言だけで考察を行っているこの私に正しい解が導き出せるはずがなかろう。
Ferris-san and Yukitaka Oji-sama and I were all puzzled by Papa's remarks.
わからんのだろう。研究において観察は重要だが、目の前にある情報を取り入れすぎるあまり、逆に物が見えなくなることもある。クリス、今のお前がそれだ。
逆に物が見えなくなる。
Papa explains, why can't we find a clue to saving Mayuri? Because we have a severe lack of information. Why is that exactly? Because not only do we have one source of information, but obtaining clear information from that source is very difficult. In other words, we have not been able to extract sufficient information from Okabe, the person with the clearest grasp on the situation, and has the only one who has observed it in detail. I think that's supposed to say, and is the only one. Again, yet another mistake. There's like a mistake every episode. At the end of the day, neither Ferris-san nor I have been able to talk normally to Okabe, making us unable to obtain information we could have obtained had he been in a calmer state. There's no contesting that, but Okabe had already been exhausted, because of the Rounders' raid by the time we were able to speak with him. Plus, he kept on getting knocked out, so... Mayuri and Hashida had been kidnapped and taken somewhere out of our reach.
パパの言いたいことはわかる。でもそれは机上の空論よ。もう岡部からは情報を聞けない。誰もそれを実行できる人なんていやしないわ。
いや、いる。
Papa speaks confidently, the way he used to. I haven't heard him sound like that since he answered every question I asked him on my birthday 7 years ago.
いるって。誰？それは誰なの、パパ？誰なのか知ってるの？教えて。
正確に言おう。確かに今現在は存在しない。だが過去にはいる。お前だ、クリス。お前がやるしかあるまい。本当に小僧を助けたいのならな。
過去の私？
The past. Before Mayuri had been kidnapped, before we encountered the Rounders. Perhaps the me that exists at that point would be able to ask Okabe about the future and find a clue to saving everyone from there. At least according to Papa.
お前自身が過去に飛ぶのではダメだ。いや、正確にはそのきっかけを得るために一度は飛ぶ必要があるだろう。だがタイムリープマシンが時間をなぞるものである以上、それで状況を改善できないのは明白だ。どこかでその過去が変わる現象を引き起こす必要がある。ならばお前はきっかけを与えるにとどめるべきなのだ。
Papa's idea is for me to leap into the past and tell Okabe to rely on the past me. No matter how you look at it, we don't have enough information. And we can't currently extract any from Okabe. Right now, what we need are information and time. And even after I leap to the past, we'll probably only gain an hour or two at best. Unfortunately, if I try to leap at a time before Okabe tried to break the time leap machine, it may take me a while to figure out what's going on. And if I try to leap repeatedly, or to time leap repeatedly to make up for that lost time, there's a possibility that I may inadvertently trigger a change past phenomenon. If that happened, I wouldn't know whether the past changed or not because I lacked the reading Steiner ability. That would render our entire plan meaningless. Just because we don't believe the time leap machine causes change past phenomenon doesn't give us free reign to make time our plaything. Directly helping Okabe and taking steps to find a clue to solving our problem is a risky, temporarily dangerous proposition. Somehow I have to convince Okabe to leap back to a more manageable time, and have him tell the me of that time period everything he knows. If the Okabe of a better time can provide me all the information he has, that me will be able to serve as Okabe's guide. In short, there's only one thing we can do: convince Okabe to go and change the past, and in the process, get him to stand back up. That's it.
そうだよ。今の京馬からはきちんと話が聞けないけど、昨日の昼間の京馬からなら話が聞けるもの。
そしてその情報があれば、過去のクリスちゃんなら解決の糸口を見つけられるか。
It sounds cruel to say, but in our current timeline, it makes perfect sense that Okabe ended up giving up on Mayuri. I don't blame him, but knowing Okabe, if his past self finds out what happened in this timeline, he will shut down. If that happens, we'll fail all over again. But even if that does happen, I can't blame him. The shock would be overwhelming for anybody. That's why we must eliminate all possibilities that may lead to this.
お前には類いまれな知識がある。お前には類いまれな理論がある。お前の持つものを総動員して小僧に道を与え助けろ。それはお前にしかできない。その場所にいるお前にしかできない。
Only I can do this. Standing here. August 13th, 2010, Akihabara, in this place where I work with Okabe as lab member 004.
わかった。
その上で他にも問題がないわけではない。 計画の遂行には過去のお前にこの荒唐無稽な話を信じさせる必要がある。
That's right. Even if I was able to invigorate Okabe, if he can't receive the support from past me, this will all be for naught.
どうすれば過去のお前がこんな話を信じると思う？
I run simulations in my head. If he were to tell me about the current situation without the despair he exhibited earlier,
信じない。
there's no question. I would probably laugh it off with a cool story, Oats. I wouldn't give it a second thought. Frankly, it sounds like convincing myself is the biggest problem of all. I know myself. Of course I can't do it, but if I were to go back and tell myself the same story, I still wouldn't believe it. It has to be Okabe. But how can I make my past self believe Okabe's words?
何か秘密とかないの？首筋に星型のあざとか。
ないわよ、そんなあざ。
Besides, if Okabe told me my most closely guarded secret, there's a 100% chance I'd beat him up, yeah. If someone that I liked asked, "You like me, don't you?" I can't imagine I'd take it very well.
は、
何かあったの？
A light bulb flicks on in my head. I do have a secret, one that I rarely tell people. I gaze into the cell phone on the table, as if to look at my papa on the other side.
あったわ、心当たり。多分、これを言われたら信じる。
There is one secret in particular, one that leads to a soft spot in my heart, the most sensitive part of me. It's what I desire the most.
フォーク。私、フォークが欲しいの。
Yeah, saw that one coming.
え？
When I was a kid, I wanted it more than anything else. I begged Papa for it on my birthday, my personal fork. Since then, that fork became something that touched my heart, a symbol of Papa's love for me when I was little. A symbol of love that I could have received had our relationship not shattered on my birthday 7 years ago. An object inexorable from my childhood heart, that is my personal fork.
私の今、一番欲しいものは、マイフォークである。そういえば、過去の私は岡部を信じると思うの。
Papa is silent. Maybe he knows what I'm talking about. But he won't say a thing. That's just how it is.
フォーク？ああ、あれか。
Then Yukitaka Oji-sama opens his mouth. That? What does that mean?
黙れ、ユキタカ。余計なことを口にすんな。
君が僕のところに置いてったクリスちゃんへのプレゼントのことだろ。黒木、持ってきてくれないか？
They still fucking have it?
おじさま？
Wait a minute. What is he saying?
ユキタカ、今その話をするな。
It really isn't, but whatever.
いい加減にしてくれ。もう預かり続けるのも限界だ。
Dad and Yukitaka Oji-sama continue to argue over the phone. While I tried to follow the unfurling drama, Kuriki-san brought out a small, slightly crushed box. Though the colors were faded, the box was beautifully wrapped.
こちらです。
小一のやつが7年前に君と喧嘩した後、疲れ切って我が家に預けていった品物だ。娘にプレゼントを買ったのに無駄になったって言ってたよ。
ユキタカ。
I take the box from Kuriki-san and start to unwrap it. It's a goddamn fork. As I thought, inside the box was a fork with an adorable design.
これ。
I remember. It's the one that I begged Papa for. Something I've wanted for a long, long time. Something I've yearned for in my heart for a long, long time. And it's finally here.
パパ。
I thought I would never have it. My personal fork always needed to be a present from Papa. But here it is now. It came to me 7 years ago, or 7 years later, excuse me.
Papa.
Getting my time directions fucked up now. Damn, he is speechless. He does not know what to say. He's just grumbling on the other line. God damn, he's still... What the fuck is he doing? Yeah, sure, whatever.
素直じゃないね、君も。
I mean, in another world line, he's just gonna murder his daughter, so it's whatever.
正一、いい加減にしないと、娘の死体の前で本音を言う羽目になるかもしれないんだぞ。
Papa struggled to choose his words. After a series of tiny groans followed by silence, he finally mutters,
そんなにそれが大切なものだというなら、過去のお前もそのことを持ち出せば信じるだろう。私にできるのはここまでだ。雪高。この私をこんな茶番に付き合わせたことの埋め合わせは必ずしてもらうからな。
ああ、わかってるよ。
Papa!
Sensing that the call was almost over, I addressed him one last time. But surprisingly, he cut me off and addressed me.
最後にクリス。さっきの岡部という小僧だが。ことが片付いたら、そいつを連れて青森の私のところに来い。まったくとんだ迷惑だ。直接頭を下げてもらわんと気が済まん。
With a final rant, he hangs up without saying goodbye.
Papa!
ああ、切れちゃったね。
I mean, it was like a 2-hour long call. Like an hour to try to get him to talk, and then another hour trying to tell him everything. Somehow, at this very moment, my heart felt refreshed. All this time, I thought he didn't love me. I still don't think he does. Worse, I thought he hated me. I absolutely think he does. That he'd forgotten about me. I believe that. Even though he's holding his feelings and emotions back, I'm still getting to see them. This may not be unconditional love, but it certainly was at one point. I examine the fork in my hand, and I'm filled with the confidence that I was in fact loved.
会いに来いって言ってくれたし、これからよ。
Too bad this world line's gonna change. Well, who knows if that invitation will still stand once the past changes. I still don't yet understand what the sort of phenomenon that Okabe claims occurs when the past changes. I trust Okabe, but it is subjective, unilateral phenomenon. Or, isn't there supposed to be an A in there? God damn the grammar in this shit. But as long as it cannot be observed without the reading Steiner, we can do nothing more than guess at its effects. If the past changes and the reading Steiner to activates, what? Does it mean that he travels to another parallel world? Or does that mean our world disappears? If the past changes, what happens to our current memories, experiences, and our feelings? What about each person's individual wishes and desires? If what Okabe says is true, it could be that when the past changes, all current events are rewritten. But there's no telling whether that's true or not. If after all, if my feelings still remain, I will definitely go see Dad, with Okabe as he told me.
クーニャンのパパさん、京馬のことを青森に連れてこいって言ってたね。楽しみだな。
楽しみって？
I raise a questioning eyebrow at Ferris-san.
だって、クーニャン、京馬のこと好きな人って言っちゃったよ。
We did? What did she say?
だから、京馬と一緒に行ったらどうなるか、今から楽しみ。
That's right. Looking back, I did say that. I told Papa that I love Okabe. Asshole. When she was a sad mess. Why do they do that? Why do they just condense the font like that? I grab my head and fall into the oars position. I really said it to Papa of all people.
なんてことよ。どうしよう。
どうしようも何も普通に連れて行くしかないと思う。
She's absolutely right. She's right, but
なんで私はこんなわけのわからないタイミングでカミングアウトしてんのよ。それも父親相手に。
まあまあ、だにゃ。
said Farah-san as she patted my head. Could this be? Is this the butterfly effect? No, I think that's something else. It took me more than 10 minutes to recover. Jesus Christ.
Okabe.
Alright, we're gonna end that on that note. We're gonna end this episode on that note, I should say. My allergies are killing the shit out of me. Like, they're physically hurting me for some reason. So next time, I guess we'll see what we do with this plan now that we have one. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, any other fancy jazz, and I will see all of you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.